Log day 328. Hurt my thumb on the button on that one. Ow. Real men don't cry. We just bottle our emotions up, much like gasoline in this chamber here, and then we let it out in small, tiny combustions that propel us towards victory.
Hello, and welcome to what is effectively the long-form version of the tour of my tiny, tiny little apartment in Paris. Greg, I know that you've been asking for this for a long time. Sorry it took me so long. Don't know why I did. I'm semi-set up in here, and I'm hoping to make some changes in the not-too-distant future to everything. So I figured it would be a good time to show you guys basically the way it's been laid out for the last couple of years. This apartment is technically what the French call a chambre de bonne, or a maid's chamber. The whole building was built as a dormitory for hired help. For the building right over here, back in the 60s. Times have changed, people don't have maids or servants anymore, so they just rent these out. But I'm really grateful to have it, really fortunate to have it. And as you can see, my landlady put up a bunch of art for one of my books. So besides these giant windows, which look out into the courtyard and are amazing, there are a few things that I really like about this space. On my left, we have my dresser. My dresser is a dresser. A lot of the furniture here is really, really old. And this dresser is no exception. The drawers don't exactly pull out easily every time. Right now, what I'm keeping on top of that are my leather-bound copies of Into the Nansen, just because they look nice and I want to keep them out in the open. And then a pile of the proof copies of all the books that I've written. Kind of crazy. And those are all the first prints, like the first runs of any of those books that I looked at and made sure were okay before sending them on to production. And pretty much all of them had something wrong with them, so they all had things that had to change. Which makes them kind of fun because they all have different unique weirdnesses to them. Next to that, of course, is the smell good station with deodorant and perfume, aka cologne. And in front of those, some belts. Most important among which is my grandpa's belt. I think it's the 75-year anniversary belt, the Okanagan Fire Department from 1984. Over here is the bed. This bed is kind of rickety. And by kind of, that's kind of an understatement. Like these things are always trying to come out. It's ready to fall apart, so I don't sleep on it, which is why this big orange mat is on top of it. That orange mat I actually put on the floor every night and sleep on. I have sheets and a duvet, and I sleep on this mat every night because it's way more comfortable than the floor itself, and more comfortable than the bed as well, which is one of the big changes that's hopefully coming down the pipe. We can get to that later. Behind me is my desk. This is where I sit to do all my edits for my vlogs, so if you watch one of the live edits, you've seen this guy. I did just kind of set up a little bit more here today because I've been meaning to get my hard drives out and do some backups with those. So you've got some new hard drives and some really old hard drives sitting here. I mean, that big one right here still has firewire in the back of it, so that tells us something. Every night I back my vlog up onto this hard drive and then wipe it off my computer. I also have offsite storage, you know, an offsite backup, so that helps. But there comes a point where you start filling up terabytes worth of hard drives with video footage, and it starts to get to be a mild nightmare. It's not too bad, but it's not the full solution that I want. Someday I'll have that. I try to keep this space fairly clear so that I can put stuff on it as I'm working on it, like you work with my notebooks or eat lunch and watch something. This is actually a table that like extends out from underneath, and I use it as both my eating space and my working space. And it's a fantastic spot to have a desk because, wow, I mean, these giant windows are amazing. These chairs, however, are a little bit less than comfortable. They're also really old. They're bamboo chairs, and you can see that they're falling apart. Like, look at this. Not in the best of condition. This one does not have arms. That one does have arms. I prefer the one without arms, which means that it's disintegrating faster than that one because I sit in it all the time. Next to that is the kind of pseudo station. That's where I keep my printer, which I just found I put together and is missing its face. I'm gonna have to write on those, like, what each of those buttons does. On top of that is my plate where I keep my bananas and my bread. It's like the bread banana station. This is where I end up keeping kind of like just random stuff. I have some office supplies here. I have the thing of gin that Yvonne brought for me that I'm gonna start drinking soon, I swear. Water bottle station, and also I keep my Johnny seasoning here. This Johnny seasoning has been here for like 4 or 5 years. I brought it, I think it may be longer than that. I brought it with me to the ship and then brought it here and then left it here. So I've got Johnny seasoning here in case I ever have like French fries or something that need a little bit of extra salt. And you know, maybe a little bit of MSG just to help fill in around the edges. But that's what this is. I think this thing was actually originally a sewing desk. It's too small for me to use as an actual desk, so I just use it to hold stuff. Next to that is the chair with arms. The chair with arms is where I keep my backpack or my satchel or whatever bag I've got going. And it's often where clothes get thrown when they're like not clean but not dirty, and I might wear them the next day. And then right here underneath the mirror is where I keep the telecommunications station. The telephone, you can tell by how much dust is on it, I never use. And I actually try to keep unplugged because I get random phone calls in the middle of the night with no one on the other side. Haha, funny. So that stays unplugged as much as possible and just doesn't get used. And then the light bulb next to it, every time I turn it on, it smells like it's burning something for the first like 5 minutes, and then it's fine. So it's been on for a while. It's good now. I think we're all right. Outlets are easily what I'm running the lowest on at all times. I've got an outlet here in the wall that doesn't have no ground. It has no ground. And there's one over there that has no ground. And there's one over there that's not even the proper format for the current era. I think you have to have like a hand crank to get that one to work. So I've got 2 power strips like this set up. And like I run my computer and whatever out of this adapter. One of my other adapters died. My printer's European, so that plugs in right there. But I'm always a little bit worried that I'm just gonna like end up shorting something out. When I first moved in here, power was one of the biggest issues. They had to update the outlets and the breakers, so I couldn't move in right away because they hadn't been touched in 50 years. I'm not really sure what this thing is meant to hold. It's like a magazine rack. It's not what I use it for though. I use it for plates and bowls. That's the general living space. You can also see the art on the walls that my landlady put up that is from Into the Nansen, which is what those other brown journals are. You can check that out at intothenansen.com. That's the living space. Between the living space and the bathroom, or shower I should say, is the closet. This part's pretty straightforward. Door, closet, plastic bag, and rainbow suspenders. Next to that is the shower and sink. And maybe bidet? I'm not really sure what the bidet is. Shower and sink area is pretty straightforward. Shower, sink. The bidet thing, I'm not really sure what it is. It might be supposed to be a urinal, but I don't use it as a urinal. It also has collected a lot of dust, as you can tell, and some baguette crumbs, because this is where I cut my baguettes up and prepare them next door on top of the refrigerator. And this thing right here, I kind of want to show you. It's a door that, it's like an accordion door, extends over. It doesn't stay open on its own very well, so I've got it to stay open and I leave it there. I had a friend who came and stayed with me and she always shut it, and it was always a nightmare to get it open again. So kind of general rule of thumb, just respect people's privacy by not walking in here and leave it open, because otherwise who knows if we'll ever get it open again. The lights are on timers, so that we don't have to worry about people not turning them off. And at the end of the hall is the bathroom, and by bathroom I mean toilets. Toilets are at the end of the hall. And over here is where I keep my fridge and microwave. I'm not going to show you everything in here just because my landlady has stuff in here, and so we kind of share the space. But it has like that giant husky case that you saw me come here with, and my suitcase and that kind of stuff in it. What's really important though is this fridge. This fridge is just about as old as it looks, like from 1960 or whatever, and I only have 1 outlet in here. Outlets are kind of an issue throughout the entire apartment actually. I have to swap between the microwave and the refrigerator depending on what I'm using, but I don't ever really use the microwave that much. And that's new. I bought that 3 years ago for like, $30 or something. I think it leaks microwave radiation though when I'm using it, so I try not to be in the room. It's probably giving me cancer. I don't know though. This fridge is nice and old and green and is where I keep all my sandwich fixings. I've got tomato, I've got avocado, onion, all that stuff. And in this tiny little freezer, I got nothing, which is okay because I don't really trust it that much. The toilets are shared, and there are 2 of them. I never really run into anybody down here, but the hermit crab, when she lived here, I ran into her all the time. And these are cleaned by somebody once a week. Never use this sink, and I definitely never use that stool. Well, I don't even know why that's still here. And arguably, this wouldn't be a very good tour if I didn't give you some aerial footage. And that's my tiny room apartment. I hope you enjoyed the tour. That was I'm kind of dizzy after that actually. I'm gonna go join my landlady for dinner now, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Too hot?
Way too hot. Are you going to take pictures?
Just a little, yeah.